Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Thanks for joining me today. We've got a really cool custom we're going to do today. And what we have here is a Jada dairy delivery. Now, I knew for a long time that Hot Wheels made dairy deliveries, but I did not know that Jada did. Well, these cars actually look a lot better. They got the tubbed wheels, and it looks more like a hot rod to me. Now, what we got here is we're going to take this dairy delivery and we're going to turn it into the Punisher dairy delivery. And if you all are fans of Punisher, you're going to love this build. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I got a lot of things to show you, a lot of tricks. And, hey, this is going to be cool. So go ahead, grab your favorite adult beverage, and if you don't drink, grab a Coke or a coffee or a glass of water or whatever, and sit back and relax with today's custom. Let's go ahead and get started with today's build.
It's time to start the autopsy.
Let's go ahead and inspect the parts. Here's the body. And again, all we had to do was unscrew this and take it apart. That was pretty cool. We didn't have to do any drilling. It's got 3 screws, 1 in the front and 2 in the back. The glass looks good. We're going to have to chop apart the glass a little bit later. Interior is excellent, very detailed. And here's the base. Now, these wheels look absolutely beautiful, so we're not going to have to add any special wheels to that. Let's go ahead and continue on. Let's go ahead and put the body in the citrus strip. One thing I didn't notice is that the grill in the front of this dairy delivery is plastic. This is a Jada dairy delivery and not a Hot Wheels dairy delivery. Make sure you check those things out. And there's today's tip from your Uncle Paulie. The citrus strip ate that plastic grill like it wasn't even there. So I had to order another complete dairy delivery in order to get the grill to put back into this vehicle. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. That's the benefit of following on these videos, folks, is that you get to learn from my mistakes so you won't make the same mistakes also. It'll save you time and money. You can definitely see that the citrus strip worked on this one. Alright, so what I did is I measured the roof and I printed up some of these Punisher pieces of paper here. I went ahead and I cut it out, and then I traced around it with a Sharpie. Now make sure you make up the gap there so it contacts the portions that you're going to leave, like the portion in the front, and we're also going to cut out a portion in the back so the skull looks like it's suspended. Here we go, that looks pretty good. Now I drilled holes so I could get the blade of the jeweler's saw in there. And we're going to go ahead and cut those pieces out. If you don't have a jeweler's saw, you definitely need to get one. Went ahead and cut it out, and this is what was left over. Notice the very front of the roof there where it's contacting the teeth. And in the back there, I made an arc. Now that avoids the screws in the very bottom of the Jada delivery. So it also gives it a little bit of strength too. So that looks pretty good. That's looking great. Let's go ahead and move on. Now it's time to polish this bad boy up. I did go over it with a Scotch-Brite pad, and now I'm going to polish it up with the Flitz. Now again, you only need to use a little bit of this stuff because a little bit goes a long way. And if you put a lot on there, all you're going to do is waste it. Spread it around as much as possible. And if you need to add a little bit more later, you can always add a little bit more. But if you've already put it on there, you can't put it back in the tube, so don't waste it. Let's go ahead and speed this up. You've seen me polish cars before. And if you haven't, watch the magic happen. There we go. That looks pretty good. All we need to do is wipe it down now and go ahead and scrub it up with the Zep degreaser. You want to get all that excess polish off there. It's really important on this particular build that you get a really nice shiny finish because you want that Spectre Flame paint to show up. And there it is after we got it all wiped up. You could polish it a little bit more if you wanted to, but that's personally up to you how far you want to take it. Make sure you get some flits, folks. That's some really good stuff. Get you a big tube also because it'll last you a long time. I went ahead and I cut some pieces of tape, and I'm using this blue painter's tape because it's very low tack. And I cut some stars out of that same blue tape, and then I put some of the pinstriping tape on there to mark out the area where I'm going to paint the red. Alright, let's get this in a holder and get it ready to paint.
Someone is being exhumed.
First thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the back end of the vehicle with Spectre Flame Red. Now the Punisher on top, I'm going to do him red, white, and blue also. And I've got some areas plotted out there with the tape and the pinstriping tape so I don't have to paint everything. Make sure you mix your paint properly. It's 4-to-1. Now on the bottle here it says 5-to-1. I use 4-to-1 and it works absolutely fantastic. You might be able to save a little bit of hardener. But it's really good stuff. And I got the Spectre Flame paints from the Redline shop. I'm only going to be using two colors here, the red and the blue. The silver is going to show through where I polished it up. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and start with the red on the back end. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out in the future. Now, if you're getting any kind of help on this or you're liking the content or whatever, mash that like button. It helps me produce content for you. And don't forget to subscribe. So we're painting the red up to about approximately the length of the front doors and then the whole back end of the van. And we're putting the light mist coats on there, or the tack coats. We'll come back in later and get some little bit heavier color coats on that. In between those tack coats, let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, give it time to build up. Because as soon as the painting is all done, the blue and the red, you're going to be removing this tape. You don't want to have it harden on you when you're done painting and have it sit around, because the paint will stick to the tape and you're liable to peel the paint right off the vehicle. And there's another tip from your Uncle Paulie. With that back of the van or the whole van polished up like that to make that chrome show through, man, it looks sweet. Now we're putting down the blue. You're going to get a little bit of a mixture with the red and the blue, and it's going to look like purple, but you know what? It still looks pretty darn good with the color fade in it. I'm trying to get that hard line between the blue and the red. Man, that is looking sweet. Now I do have the top on the roof there, the Punisher logo. I've got the blue area on the skull taped off. We're going to come back in and get that a little bit later. It was more important to get the red first. Once this is all painted, we're going to let it set for approximately 24 hours. But before we put it away, like I said, we're going to peel off those stripes and we're going to take away those stars on the hood and on the front end of the van. Man, that's looking sharp. When we polished up that chrome, that was excellent. Let's go ahead and move on.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Okay, here's what it looks like after we peeled off all the tape. Look how nice that looks. We're going to come back in now that it's dry, and we're going to paint that little blue area on the skull, and then we're going to come in after that and we're going to put some decal stars in that area to make it look like an American flag. Looking sweet. All right, here's all the pieces. Here's the van. We didn't put the stars on yet, but I will. That looks fantastic. And we're going to clear coat it also. But that turned out absolutely beautiful. Like I say, here's all the pieces. Here's the bottom portion with those wheels. That looks great. Here's the interior. That looks fantastic. And we had to go in and trim the plastic that goes inside. I cut away most of the metal section of it. We got the glass in the front, and we got the glass in the back windows. Let's go ahead, put it together, and give our creation life.
Lies! Lies! Do you hear me? Give my creation life!
And here's what we started with. This Jada dairy delivery. Now you can still find these out there if you want to do your custom. And again, don't forget that that little grill in the front, those two little pieces, that's plastic, right? As I found out after I pulled it out of the citrus strip. But hey, you know, I do these things, and if I make a mistake or bring out a point, I want you to know so it doesn't happen to you. But we took everything apart, we painted it up, we polished it up, and we come out with an entirely beautiful vehicle for this dairy delivery Punisher van with the red, white, and blue theme. And this turned out fantastic. Now, like I said, if you're getting anything out of these videos, don't forget to mash that like button, because that's what helps me create content for you. Now, if there's something you want to see, don't forget to put it in the comments. I read all my comments that come in. Sometimes I just can't get to all of them, though, but I do the best I can. But I had a lot of fun with this one. And here's how it turned out. Look how beautiful this dairy delivery Punisher themed van with the red, white, and blue turned out. This was so much fun, and I felt really good about doing this one here, and I look forward to doing other customs for you. And like I said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Now, like I always say, you can do this too. Don't forget to watch my other videos, especially the how-to videos, like how to select an airbrush if you haven't airbrushed before, how to select a compressor, how to take your car apart, how to prepare it for paint, how to zinc plate your car, and a whole slew of others there. There's many, many videos I have there, and there's all kinds of other videos you can go back and watch while you're enjoying your adult beverage. This was a lot of fun, and I truly enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out the Redline shop with the Spectre Flame paints, and you'll have a lot of fun with that. And check out my Diecast Graveyard clear coat at diecastgraveyard.com. Thank you for joining me today on Diecast Graveyard. We've got a lot more videos coming up in the future, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And thank you again for joining me here today. If there's something you'd like to see, put it in the comments. Thank you, and cheers.